Alright, it's your third episode of Thirsty Thursdays, where we bring the waters of life to you. So I want you to go ahead and grab your paper, your pen, and your cup, and get ready. Alright, there's this saying in the circles of NA and AA that goes to something like this. If you keep going to the barbershop, eventually you're going to get your hair cut. Now, I want to propose that there's two sides of looking at this. Most of the time, people are only looking at the negative sides, where being in the wrong areas, you start falling prey to the wrong activities, wrong thoughts, and wrong people. But here's the thing. When I was in college, I lived in the dorm room my freshman year, which is actually on campus, of course. And up the streets, there was a barbershop. I'd passed by this barbershop numerous times, just walking with friends, hanging out. Never gone in there. My barbershop was actually in the other direction. Well, one day, one of my friends from my teammates in college, from the baseball team, decided he wanted to try out this barbershop. So we go into this barbershop. Come to find out, with some good people in there, seemed like some good people in there. We had a good conversation. We talked about sports and all types of other things, just college, athlete talk. So what ended up happening is he would come back to this barbershop often. Of course, I being a friend, a roommate, and a teammate, I'd often go up there walking with him to this barbershop. And over time, I eventually decided, why am I still going to my barbershop? I like it here. I might as well get my hair cut here. So I got my hair cut at this barbershop. And I got accustomed to the people in there and the things that was going on in this barbershop, as far as the conversations and as far as people coming in trying to sell things. In the barbershop, people bring in things to sell, CDs or whatnot, food and things of that nature. Now, when this barbershop got closed down, the barber moved the shop into his own house. Okay? So, of course, we being loyal customers, we moved towards his house when we wanted to get our haircut. We continued getting our haircut at this man's house. Now, eventually, he ended up leaving and moving out of state, so I went back to my old barbershop to start getting my haircut. It was a little different, but still. My point built to this conversation is this. By going into this new area, I'm introduced to new people, new activities, new ideas, and new conversations. These new people, new activities, new ideas, eventually led to new beliefs. So this is where it comes back from that standpoint of the NA and AA, is that by continuing to go to areas such areas that we do not want to go to, bars and so forth like that, then a person will eventually drink or start using, or whatever it may be. Or if you're overeating, you're going to keep going to places where your buffets are eventually going to start eating. So the thing about it is, you stay away from those areas, okay? Because what happened was, when I was going to these areas, these new areas in my life, I started getting used to. Maybe I wasn't doing anything at first, but eventually, being there long enough, I started getting used to the people. I started getting used to the conversations. I started getting used to the activities. And whether I partook of them or not, I eventually took on a whole new belief that these things are okay. So, that's the one side. The other side of this is when you start making the changes in your life. Here's the thing. You start making the changes in your life, and you start getting around new people, like coming to these videos. Start reading new material, like some really good books, instead of not doing anything. When you start going to new places, like going to live events where you start learning some spiritual things, some financial things, some relationship ideas, you start getting new beliefs about your life. And you start making new changes. See, as I continue to go to these live events that about personal development, I go to these live events about financial ideas. I start going to these live events about, just building a business and being me and learning how good I can be. I start changing my ideas. I start changing my people. I start changing my beliefs. So I still kept going to that barbershop. Now the barbershop I'm going to is cutting me up and nicing me up real good. And I only say that because I need the haircut right now. That's what sparked this, but the message is still the same. You keep going to the barbershop, you're eventually going to get your hair cut. You got to pay attention to whether it's the barbershop you need to be in or the barbershop that you don't need to be in. That decision is up to you. Alright, this has been the third episode of Thirsty Thursdays. Pay attention to where you're getting your haircut, family. Till next week. Because confidence is all you really need to live your life in style. So just do what you gotta do.